Is it German dungeon porn?
Yeah. How'd you know?
Don't tell them. Oh,
You saying Eddie hasn't shown me worse than German dungeon porn?
oh, definitely. Yeah, like.
I've
not
seen the
work, yeah.
sounding video he has.
Oh, what?
Sounding? That's stirring a metal rod into your dick hole.
Okay, I'm good. See ya. Fuck that one. Okay.
Yeah, and then she does this. Ding.
All right.
Hello and welcome to Side 1, Side B with Dave and Steve. I don't know why I'm doing it like a vampire.
When have you ever done that voice?
I've never done it that way. I don't know. I thought I'm trying to spice up our lives here.
Better than atonal moaning.
Side 1, Side B with Dave and Steve. I'm Steve.
I'm Dave.
And I am Fuck Ice, No Kings.
Fuck ice, no kings. Two words, like one name and then the other, but yeah. No, yeah, fuck ice, seriously.
First name,
yeah.
Fuck Ice. Last name, No Kings.
No kings, yeah. Fuck the entire DHS, honestly.
That is like a really fucking long name.
Yeah, that is, yeah.
Well, anyway, welcome back to the podcast. When's the last time we had you on?
A while.
Judgment Night?
Judgment Night, the movie, I believe.
Yeah.
I think that's right, yeah. And before that, it was Jim Carroll, which was a long time ago,
Yeah.
like early in the season.
Yeah, it's been a while, yes.
Well, today we're having you back to listen to my teenage self's favorite band, Megadeth. What do you
think Dave Mustaine thinks about ice? I don't want to know.
Mustaine has been awfully quiet about his politics in this era.
Yeah.
The only thing I saw him ever say about Trump was that he was a successful businessman, like in 2016, but he hasn't said anything positive in support.
That is a nothing burger of a statement too. So yeah, maybe he's evolved.
So I'm excited for this episode because, as you may or may not know, guitar playing wise anyway, Dave Mustaine is kind of a hero of mine.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
Huge influence, and the importance of rhythm guitar came from an interview with him and Marty Friedman in Guitar World back when I was first learning how to play bass way too long ago.
Dave, what's your experience with the band Megadeth?
I remember first hearing Peace Cells in high school. I don't remember. It might have been during Grand Theft Auto, but I'm not 100% on that.
That's definitely how I first came across them.
But yeah, love that song. I remember liking that. And then I remember when I saw Decline of Western Civilization Part 2, in college, being like, oh, this Dave Mustaine guy is pretty cool compared to all the other jackasses in this movie. And then I found out more about Dave Mustaine later, but I do like Megadeth. I do think they're good.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's funny, one of my favorite Dave stories is when they were touring Ireland and he came across some guys selling some bootleg t-shirts and of like his merchandise, and they're like, oh yeah, we're doing it for the cause, and he's like, what's the cause? And then like later on he's just like, this song's for the cause. and pissed off half of Ireland. And they had to finish the tour in a bulletproof bus.
He's kind of dumb. Yeah.
You know, I really liked Dave when he did a lot of drugs, because in recent days I would say he's a somebody you should separate the artists from the art.
Yes.
I don't think Dave's done or said anything so bad that I would completely cut him off, but he said a lot of questionable things, and he's based recent albums, well, semi-recent now at this point, like Endgame was named after an Alex Jones like documentary or something, and he went on Alex Jones, and he's definitely these days a right-wing leaning guy, but he's been very quiet about that in the last like 10 years. So like I said, I'm hoping.
So he hasn't done anything as bad on Alex Jones as, say, Kanye West.
No.
Where Kanye West was so anti-Semitic that Alex Jones got uncomfortable.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know if he quieted down because his publicist told him to, but he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would take that advice. So I think he's probably like, I would guess he doesn't like Trump. And my theory on that is because they're very similar personality-wise.
And that's, a definite possibility there. I wish I knew more about this. So an acquaintance of mine from high school, his mom actually ended up sitting on a flight next to Dave Mustaine and like talked to him for like 4 hours straight.
What do you mean?
I was so jealous.
From what I hear, he's actually really like, if you're not like working with him, like if you're just some regular person, he's really cool to be around.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. I'm sure he got sick of talking to fans or music people too, and just likes having a normal conversation with a stranger.
I've also seen multiple accounts of people saying that Mustaine like contact them to help him with their mental health. Like I used to back in the day, I would be on the Megadeth forums. For some reason, it was an oddly active place on the internet. Like even people like, I haven't listened to Megadeth in years, but this is a fun community to be around or something. And there were multiple instances where like people would post like cries for help, basically. On the forum, and then Mustaine would contact them. Like, so
that's cool, honestly. Yeah.
So I have conflicted beliefs about him. It's like, I don't like your right-leaning politics, but I don't think he's a bad guy.
I think like with the kind of mental state he was in when he had to get sober too, I can also see why he can have empathy for people in a similar place. Yeah. So
I don't know. He's definitely not the worst being in the world, and I used to not like how he treated people in his band, but I've heard the new Kings of Thrash song, and now I can see why he didn't give those guys any writing credits.
Yeah. And then it's like, politics aside, I would never want to be in a band with him, regardless. But I wouldn't want to be in a band with David Thomas of Perubu. Well, he's dead now, but back in the day, like he's the common factor in all the people that quit throughout the 70s and 80s. So,
I mean, can you imagine having to work with Jell-O?
Yeah.
I mean, I would strangle the guy. I agree with like 95% of what he says, but I would strangle him.
I think I would have no business being anywhere near a Megadeth album. Like, if I somehow had to be in that band, he would yell at me like Gordon Ramsay yells at people in his kitchen. Like, that would not work.
He put too many amplifiers over your ears.
What do you mean you're an idiot sandwich?
Now, before we jump into this, I want to tell a somewhat quick story about my first real introduction to Megadeth.
Please do.
Okay. So I was definitely a rock and roll kid in the 80s, but we're talking Guns N' Roses was the hardcore end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
I was still listening to a lot of Poison, still listening to a lot of Motley Crue, and sometime around probably 7th or 8th grade, I don't remember which, but Christmas time, my cousin drew my name for Christmas gifts, and so she got me Rust in Peace. And I was shocked, offended, and scared when I got that because she was like, what does she think I am, a Satanist? And I didn't listen to it for months. But towards the end of that summer, me and a couple of friends played a lot of hide and seek in each other's basements that summer. That was just kind of the thing that we did. And as a side story, that is long ago enough now that one of those guys just became a grandfather. Oh. So it's been a while.
Yeah.
Anyway, though, one time we're at my house, and I was like, you know what? I'll throw this in, whatever, you know. And I put it in, and I go and hide, and then. And I was like, what the fuck is this? I come out of my hiding spot. Lance comes up, gotcha. I was like, yeah, whatever. Hold on. And I stop and I rewind because I can't believe what I'm hearing. It is that fucking amazing to me.
I had a very similar reaction when I first heard Rest in Peace. I guess I'll detail my Megadeth journey. I'm certain the first time I heard them was Peace Cells on the Grand Theft Auto Vice City soundtrack. Probably heard them on the radio like when I was younger, but just never registered it. And at the time, I was just getting into Metallica. So I was talking to somebody in some chat group about it, and he's like, oh yeah, Mustaine used to be in Metallica. And I was like, oh really? Well, sounds like I might like this Megadeth then. So I'm trying to think.
Megadeth.
What's the first thing I picked up by them? It was I probably just got Peace Cells.
Right.
I'm thinking, but
Maybe a greatest hits compilation even, or
no, I don't think I got a greatest hits compilation because they at that point they only had one out, and I don't know. They were releasing like their remix and remastered albums, which generally aren't very popular for a variety of good reasons. So I think I was trying to get those. And I remember now, Pepsi was doing an iTunes promotion, so like every cap would get you like iTunes points. So I'm pretty sure I bought Peace Cells and Countdown to Extinction with my points, and that's how I first.
You didn't save up for the F-22.
No, I didn't save up.
You're not the guy who had to sue Pepsi for false advertising.
I should have. But at the time, I wanted Megadeth. So it's kind of a big blur what I listened to and when, because I bought them all up after that. So this was around 2004. So I had all the albums on CD. Then I bought all the original pressings so I can get the original mixes, which on a majority of the albums is vastly superior. Also, they were really fun to collect for. I have a number of like promotional singles, a number of Japanese only exclusives, which come with fun things like industrial remix tracks. Like I think Trent Reznor redid Symphony of Destruction in his style.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, and that's really cool. To the point that Mustaine says that they use his arrangement for the live version.
Really?
Which is interesting. But yeah, I think their first 4 albums are great. I don't really like Countdown to Extinction that much.
It's bland. It's too perfect.
Yeah.
Because I remember reading about when they were producing it, how they didn't have the auto tune and auto sync technology to make it happen, and so. But they had technology to tell if it was like right on the spot or not, and so he'd make everyone play over and over again until he hit every note on the exact spot where it belongs. And so they sucked all the life out of it.
Yeah.
It also sounds like people were miserable, which probably comes through.
Yeah, I think their last great album was Rest in Peace, but his last really good album, I think, was The System Has Failed, which was supposed to be a solo album, but he brought back Chris Poland for a number of solos on that one, and he also worked with some like jazzy session musicians. And my favorite era of Megadeth is the ones where he hires jazzier musicians, like on Killing Is My Business and Peace Cells. It was Gar Samuelson and Chris Poland on drums and bass respectively, and they have more of a jazzy background. Nick Menza also had more of a jazzy background, so I think
from his daddy.
Yeah, and I think that's what set them apart from the other thrash bands was that rhythm section. Like the biggest thing I don't like about modern Megadeth, besides his stupid lyrics, and he's always had stupid lyrics, but they used to be stupid but charming, and now they're just stupid. But
what do you mean?
I disagree. Rust in Peace is perfect from start to finish. The best metal album of all time.
There really isn't a lot of cheesiness on that one, but
no.
My biggest criticism of modern Megadeth is
not jazzy enough.
He hires metal musicians, and as a result, it just sounds like typical metal. So, and then you pair that with his like right-wing lyrics, and even in a lot of songs where it's like people will say it's not political, and it's like, yeah, but you can tell his mindset. Like there's one where they talk about a standoff between some like gunmen in LA, and of course, he's taking like snide remarks at the people that don't like the police being militarized, and people will just say that's not a political song, that's just a song about heist. And I'm like, no, that's a political song.
The song's called I Can't Explain. I Can't Explain. ICE.
Dave of the Past, though, which is what we'll be talking about today, was very political. I think just generally more anti-authoritarian. So
that's interesting. Yeah, like one thing, like what Pete said earlier about like thinking that it was satanic before he listened to it because it was scary. It was like that interview at the end of Decline Part 2 that I was really impressed by was him saying, yeah, no, I'm not a Satanist, because if you lean into that kind of thing, you can't really do songs about other things like politics.
I don't think Dave Mustaine was ever in a sphere that you would call lefty. I think he was probably liberal up until, I want to say, he became a born-again Christian. Like, probably. It seems that's where the shift was.
Yeah, and it's... Why can't people become sober and not go that route?
And then, I don't, if religion is the guiding factor of getting sober, that's fine. But that, don't develop something where you feel like you need to tell everyone how to live their life based off of that.
Yeah, I mean, because it was after that point where it's like somebody asked him his position on gay marriage. He's like, I'm a Christian. What do you think? Okay.
Don't be a douche. Just answer the fucking question, pussy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, my dad, he found religion and it made him a better person. So, it's possible to go that route and not become a conservative Republican, but that's what happened to Dave.
It's happened to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Something about Dave's and religion. Sometimes they don't always head the right way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So it goes.
Now, back during this time, he probably had a more generalized view of the world. So, and like by the time that he kind of made his right-wing shift, he had some money in the bank.
Probably has more to do with money than sobriety.
Yeah. There's probably quite a few factors in it. But
that might play into some things, but it's hard to say for certain.
All right. So today, it's funny I went off on that like jazz tangent because this album is not jazzy. This is their punk album. At the time, they were listening to a lot of punk. He replaced the jazzier musicians with some musicians that weren't as technical. They cover a Sex Pistols song on this one. So I think... I don't know if they were trying something different or they just went in the direction of the musicians that he happened to get, or he was listening to a lot of punk at the time. But the result is a very raw album, but I think is kind of an underrated album. It's got a number of really like banger songs on it. This album, besides featuring Megadeth himself, features David Ellefson on bass, Jeff Young on guitar, and those two are now in a band called Kings of Thrash, which I have subjected both of you to.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, it wasn't horrible until it wasn't that horrible until the lyrics or vocals came in. Then it was pretty fucking horrendous.
Yeah, I think it sounded like he was doing a parody of Dave Mustaine. Like multiple people in the comments are like, "When did Eric Jandre join Megadeth?" And then. Jeff Young is another interesting guy. He likes to post flat Earth stuff. he calls the COVID pandemic the scamdemic, and I actually have a funny connection with him. So back in about 2012, 2013, the Megadeth forums were shutting down. I don't know if they just didn't want to deal with it anymore. A lot of people were bitching about their most current album, like 13, like they didn't like it. So some people think Dave Mustaine shut it down because he wasn't getting enough praise for it. But either way, around that same time, he said a bunch of like insulting things to Dave or about Jeff Young. And there was a small exodus of like a group of Megadeth fans that went to the old UFO radar forums, which was ran by one of the members. So he just made a general section. So a lot of us went over there. Dave Mustaine did this interview where he'd like trashed this guy. And I think I was probably in my early 20s. Yeah. And I don't know, at the time I was just like, hey, I like Jeff Young. I should send him an email and tell him he should come to this community and talk about his experience.
Oh, no. Oh, no. No.
And he did. And he went crazy.
Steven.
Don't meet your heroes.
Yeah.
And don't bait them.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't really interact with him after he joined the forum. I was just, hey, you should come by and tell your story. And then like a bunch of people asked questions because they're like, oh, it's a former Megadeth member. Oh my God, he showed up. And he started saying, I don't remember the details, but he started saying some really sus things. And to the point where he stopped posting there and he started his own forum called Beyond Total Anarchy. Because there was a sub forum on the Megadeth forums called Total Anarchy. So I guess he was trying to suck the people into those forums. Mm-hmm. He posted a lot of weird things on there. And for some reason, like, instead of starting like a new post, he would start like new sub forums.
That's a boomer move.
Yeah. It definitely came off as like very boomer vibes. I heard rumors, and of course these are internet rumors, but I heard rumors that he would spend like all of his time after shows like just on the internet, like fuming. So I hope I didn't cause that. I might have. But anyway, Jeff Young, kind of a crazy guy.
You made a boomer beat you online. That means you caused January 6th.
I just wanted to tell the guy I like his guitar playing.
So here's something I never realized. I mean, this is like serious mind-blowing shit because for years I always thought Peace Sells was the album before Rust in Peace. And it was this one's in between. I thought this was older because the artwork on the front cover looks kind of like some silly ass bullshit. And so I assumed it was much older than Peace Sells.
Well, Peace Sells, they had a budget. This one, I think they either sniffed all the budget up their noses or the label just didn't give them enough money, or maybe a combination of the two. Oh yeah, and Chuck Baylor is on drums. As far as I know, he's settled into a normal dude life, doing normal dude things.
Good for him.
Last time I saw him was like when Mustaine had him in the studio to show them the remastered versions of these. Like he was just there being kind of cool. So
okay, do you know how or what he was doing before he was a drummer on this album?
I thought he was just some rando.
No, he was Gar's drum tech.
That's right. He was. Yeah.
And
the same thing happened to him too. Yeah. Anyway.
And then Jeff Young was there because they first hired a guy named Jay Reynolds from the band Malice, but when he wasn't good enough to do the recording and everything, they hired his guitar teacher, Jeff Young.
Yeah, I heard that story. Like the guy would come in and he'd be like, all right, show the parts to my guitar teacher, and then he'll show them to me. And Mustaine was like, well, just cut out the middle, man.
Yeah. But what's interesting, though, is Dave Lombardo considered joining, and one of the guitarists they considered trying to get in there was Slash. So just try to imagine this album was Dave Lombardo and Slash.
I do remember Slash talking about that in his autobiography. He said they came up with some really interesting things, which I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall for.
Yes.
Because I love both of them for very different reasons, though. But yeah. Let's see. Okay, so this lineup was very short-lived. Eventually, Dave Mustaine got paranoid because he thought Jeff Young was trying to take his on-again, off-again girlfriend. So he basically fired him. Chuck Beller was replaced by Nick Menza, like you said, was his drum tech.
Now, is this original pressing? So it's just 8 songs?
Yeah.
Okay.
OG pressing.
I don't know. Sometimes I tend to prefer original pressings for most things.
Typically, at the same end, I really wish Epitaph would put some money into having the RKL albums remixed and remastered, because the playing on those albums is phenomenal, but you can hardly hear it because it's just so poorly produced.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. When there's a production issue, like I do like listening to remixes too. So remasters.
I will say, if there's any of the remix and remasters you should check out for Megadeth, I would say this one really cleaned up the production. I think the rough production is part of the charm of it personally, but if you're into like trying to hear more of what the instruments are doing, checking out the remaster is a pretty good idea. Looks like Gar Samuelson was fired for being a cocaine addict, which is funny because
from Megadeth.
Yeah.
Well, there's always
well, Dave Mustaine isn't going to fire Dave Mustaine. Well,
then there's also there can also sometimes be someone in a band who has the same vice, but to such a degree that they can't work with them.
Well,
that's
Guns N' Roses, they got rid of Steven Adler because he couldn't ever get his shit cleaned up.
Yeah.
Whereas
very similar situation.
Slash and Duff could have, or at least semi-functional.
All right. So, side one, we got 4 songs. We got Into the Lungs of Hell.
Dun, 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 dun.
Set the World Afire. Anarchy in the UK.
I wonder if that's the cover.
I don't know, Dave. I wonder if it is. And then the last one, Mary Jane, is not about marijuana.
Is it about Spider-Man?
I don't think it's about Spider-Man either. I think it's some... at this time, he was kind of into, like... how do you put it? Like... rituals and whatnot, like black magic kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's about black magic. All right, we'll throw this on.
Did we say enough about the front cover and the back cover?
We didn't do
We
that.
haven't said
did we?
anything other than that it's
we've
cheap.
done a lot of talking without any listening to any music yet, too.
Yeah.
So
I'll do a quick run through. Why not?
All right.
Yeah, this looks like something from like a 1992 FMV cutscene video game. This looks like something you would see in between levels in Command and Conquer. It's like a guy. It's kind of pixelated, like a soldier with grenades and bullets on him.
I'm not sure if that's supposed to be Vic Rattlehead.
Yeah. And a gun, or maybe it's a flamethrower. Who can tell? Some kind of weapon. And the earth is in the background.
It's set. There's the song "Set the World Afire," so I'll bet you it's a flamethrower.
Oh, that makes sense. And then on the back, there's all the members making rocking out faces.
ooh, I want to look at the rocking out faces. Rocking out with a cigarette in his mouth.
Yep.
Rocking
The
out
drummers do.
with a dead Kennedy sticker on his bass. Jeff Young doesn't really look like he's rocking out. He looks almost kind of confused, like he's like, what do you mean look angry? I don't know what you mean by this.
What do you mean look angry?
And Dave looks shoegaze.
Yeah.
Dave is probably on like 5 different drugs at that point. Like when I watched the behind the music, they interviewed his former manager, and like at one point he's just like, Dave, just pick one.
Yeah, no, he's just staring at his strings like, don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up.
I like how a lot of times like Kerry King will give interviews and he'll talk shit about Dave Mustaine, but it'll also be like, dude will like do this complicated riff without looking at his hands. I can't even do that today.
Yeah.
So kind of like me, admires his guitar playing, doesn't really like a lot else.
Yeah, Kerry King likes to say that he likes Dave Mustaine for about 20 minutes. And he got his 20 minutes for the year, and then he can not talk to him again for a while.
That's kind of how I feel about Kerry King, so.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Throw this on. Oh, by the way, it was produced by Dave Mustaine and Pauline. All right. And we are back from side one of So Far, So Good, So What by Megadeth without an A. What do you guys think?
I liked it.
No. All right. All right. For overall, it's on side one. You're talking about how this was their punk rock influenced album. And while I do hear, at least on Set the World Afire, I did hear some comparisons to RKL. Years ago when I was in college, my guitar teacher taught me a little bit of jazz. She taught me like seventh chords and ninth chords, and I made this kind of ding 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 ding. Like kind of wrote this song using those chords and everything. I still play it to this day. It's fun to play. I like it. But I show it to him, and he was just like, if you ever play that in front of a buddy, don't tell him I'm your guitar teacher. and I get that story now because I feel like if you show this album to anyone, don't tell them you're inspired by punk rock at all because please just don't.
Okay. So Dave likes it.
I like it, yeah.
I think it's underrated, and Pete says no.
Yeah. Maybe the price for having the greatest metal album of all time is everything else you do kind of sucks.
I thought it was fun. I thought it was a little earnestly cheesy at times, but that was part of the charm.
If you're a Megadeth fan, you have to embrace the cheese.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when people complain about Star Trek being cheesy, I'm like, it's all part of the journey, man.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I don't watch Star Trek.
For me, I think it's an underrated album. I suppose it deserves to sit in its place like among what most people consider the classic albums because it ain't anywhere near as good as Rust in Peace. It's not as good as Peace Sells, and it's probably about the same as Killing Is My Business. I probably like Killing Is My Business a bit more. That said, I think the lo-fi production is actually a strength on this album for some reason. The cleaned up version is interesting to listen to, but I don't know. I just like the vibe that it gives, especially on like its two opening songs. I think the lo-fi vibe kind of added to the nuclear apocalypse feeling. And I don't know. It sounds like the band's having fun to me. But Pete, I see you're dissenting.
Yes. It's kind of back to what I said earlier about their RKL albums, wishing the Epitaph would remix and remaster them, is because the playing is phenomenal, but you can't hardly hear it. It just sounds like such a muddy mess. And I think if you have the superior technique, if you're playing some amazing playing, I feel like a higher quality production is needed for that to show through. One of my favorite bands is Off With Their Heads, but Off With Their Heads does almost nothing technical. It's very bare bones as far as the playing and stuff, and so it can get away with a lower production quality, especially on their older stuff, because you're not listening for this awesome guitar solo, you're not listening for this cool little bass line or anything, and I can tell they're doing some interesting things, but you can't hardly hear it. It's just this fucking mess, and it's that I do want to check out the remastered version of this and see if it doesn't improve my enjoyment of the album.
I think in your case it might. For me, it's like I could hear everything that I wanted to hear, but most of what the remaster brings out is some like synthy stuff that you can't hear. So I feel like I just sold it way too low, so don't listen to that. Dave, your thoughts on the production?
Yeah, the production was kind of muddy. The vocals were buried a lot of the time.
I've also listened to this 10,000 times. I know this album like front to back. Like I usually take notes during these. I'm not taking notes because I know everything I need to know about this.
Yeah, no, I thought the vocals were buried a lot of the time. I don't know. I liked some of the dynamics of how the two guitars would play off of each other sometimes. I thought it was fun. It reminded me of hearing this kind of music in someone's basement where they brought Marshall stacks when they shouldn't have, you know.
And
but
I don't know. I like the vibe.
yeah, it felt like a basement show. Yeah, which is fun. I had fun.
All right. So we'll go into track by track here. So into The Lungs of Hell, a instrumental, a wankery session, basically.
Yeah, the guitar was really tinny at the beginning.
Well, I thought something was wrong with my record player at first, and then when all the instruments came in, I was like, no, that's right.
My thinking was wrong speed, right speed. Both speeds sound kind of off. But one thing they kind of noticed is like before, like the kind of thrashy part kicked in, kind of the almost that intro chord progression. Once everything came in, that chord progression was very British sounding to me.
Yeah,
Like I could almost hear it playing at the end credits of a Danger Mouse cartoon.
He'd probably tell you that it was the Diamond Head influence, I bet.
yeah. Before the like the thrashy lead stuff came in, it sounded. I was like, oh yeah, I could tell this was influenced by punk. But then once the guitar came in, it's like, but it's more of a Megadeth thing than a punk tribute.
Yep.
I will often criticize bands that do a lot of wanky guitar solos. For Megadeth, I think it works. They perfected it on Rust in Peace.
Yes.
Which I know you want to talk about that one. We're going to do it in the next season because I think we're going to do one more general season and then we're going to do the all bad album season. So we'll bring that one in. But all right. So Into the Lungs of Hell, a lot of guitar solos.
There's some parts that I thought was interesting where one guitar would be soloing and then another would kind of ring out, or the other one would feedback some that I thought was pretty interesting. And like there were some cool dynamic moments that didn't really stand out in the mix, but yeah, it was fun to like listen for them and to catch them. Yeah. And the end of it, like the way they kind of like slowed it down and like did like the ring house, it reminded me of the end of the Buffy the Vampire Slayer theme song by Nerf Herder. So it is a similar vibe to that, in my opinion. But yeah.
All right, so I think this one kind of serves as an introduction piece to the next song, Set the World Afire. This song is the first song that he wrote after being kicked out of Metallica.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
He said that he wrote the lyrics during his journey home from the departure, and the inspiration for the song came from a pamphlet he read while on the bus back to California. Similar story to the Rust in Peace album, which he saw a bumper sticker that said, "May all your nuclear weapons rust in peace." And he's like, "Ooh, good song title."
That explains why it does sound like something from a anti-war pamphlet, because it was.
But you know what? I draw inspiration from that.
Yeah, no, it's not bad. So. It just doesn't seem. Yeah, it seems a little different from the normal Megadeth stuff. No, it tracks. X drew some good songs from random Bible pamphlets that they found on the street too. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Oh my God, I want to do an album inspired by nothing but Chick tracks.
Yeah.
I had a buddy a work buddy when I was doing gas station work that loved it when those people came in because he collected those like they were baseball cards.
They're interesting.
Like one time he brought his box in, and I'm like, this is amazing.
They're hateful, but they're interesting.
Yeah. Set the World Afire, I think, is a pretty effective song that demonstrates a post-apocalyptic world.
I like the fallout
from
the beginning.
I think the lower production kind of adds to the sludginess, so that's why I think it works really good for a post-apocalyptic song. And also, I think the lyrics, "distorted figures walk the street, it's 1999" is funny.
Yeah. I like
given current events that might come true 25 years later, but
yeah.
I thought it was I thought like starting with like, you know, like that old sample and then like doing the bomb drop song sound, that was cheesy and way too sincere, but it worked. It was fun. like I laughed. I don't know if I was supposed to laugh, but it was I thought it was funny. It was achingly sincere, which was it was fun.
Dizzle brilliant blow the panties off grandma.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I love about them using that sample is like years later they used that song in Fallout 3, and that's one of my favorite games. So of course when that came on, I was like, ah!
And I kind of liked it how, you know, after a little guitar riff would end, they'd do like a little like guitar dive bomb thing, which was like a good moment for just like a solitary headbang. Just yeah. This one was fun.
I would say it was the best one on the side.
I agree.
You know, I have a lot of disappointment on so many different things, but it sounded so in 1988. It really did. But it was kind of funny that you mentioned that this is the first song he wrote after being fired from Metallica, because while the song is playing, I was thinking back to the story that Dave Ellison would tell, how they just had started the band and things were going along, and then Dave Mustaine ran into a fan that talked about how much he loved it, how fast the Metallica songs were, and so then Dave Mustaine came back and like doubled the speed and everything that they were playing.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of story I remembered while listening to that song.
You can definitely tell he was just like, I'm going to put like 4 solos in this and one up those bastards. Because with this album, he would have been competing with Master of Puppets, I believe. And
Yep.
I mean, that album's a fucking riff machine. So. Although I guess if he wrote it like right after Metallica, he would have been competing with Kill 'Em All. So
Fair enough.
and that wasn't a very fast album in retrospect. I suppose
Right.
at the time it seemed like it.
Yeah.
Next song, Anarchy in the USA.
Ramon Pistols.
Ramon Pistols. Yeah, a lot faster than the original. Like, one of the interesting facts about the Sex Pistols is, like, a lot of the UK punk bands started before the Ramones toured the UK. It's just like after the Ramones did come in and tour the UK, every UK punk band started playing faster, except the Sex Pistols. They're like, no, we wrote these songs at mid-tempo. We're going to keep playing them mid-tempo. And honestly, I respect that.
I respect that as much as I can't stand the Sex Pistols, but yes. You know, and honestly, that's a smart play too. You know, if you see, especially if you're trying to stand out from all the other bands they're playing, if you see everyone heading in this direction, you either want to stay the chorus or head the opposite direction.
Yeah.
When we did the PIL album, I remember you mentioning that like everybody wanted them to play Sex Pistols songs, and they're like, nope.
Yeah.
The song I think is a good cover.
Yeah, it's a decent cover. Yeah. I like it that Dave doesn't try to just like ape Johnny on the vocals. It sounds like Dave Mustaine singing it.
Right.
Rather than him doing a probably bad Johnny Rotten impression.
Or any kind of British accent whatsoever.
Yeah. And changing it to the USA does make the rhyme force, but it also, you know, like rhymes Antichrist and anarchist. So in the original version. So, you know.
Fun fact, Dave Mustaine will not play the song anymore, and that's because he's opposed to the line, I am an Antichrist. Mm-hmm. His reasoning being like, well, I'm not, so why would I say that? I'm like,
yeah.
You know, it's his performance.
Yeah.
You know, he won't play Five Magics anymore either.
To be honest, I don't care that he drops this one because it's a cover, and it's kind of, I don't know, like one of my biggest criticisms of Anthrax's live performance is they include 2 covers in their set. The Got the Time by Joe Jackson and Antisocial by Trust.
I still think it's funny that Joe Jackson makes fun of the Anthrax cover for being too slow.
Yeah, that is really funny. And it's like, why did you guys make this the staple of your guys' set? Like, I don't understand that. But
It's a good song.
yeah, it is. But why is it the staple of their sets?
Because it's a good song. So, honest truth about Anthrax is my favorite album by them is Attack of the Killer Bees, because most of their like straightforward albums are just kind of like, eh.
Yeah. Oh, and I recently listened to some like bootlegs of the Sex Pistols when they played in Texas right before breaking up, and they were changing the lyrics to Anarchy in the USA for when they were playing in Texas too. So the Sex Pistols butchered the rhyme scheme for that first.
Seems just did it.
Yeah. But, you know, like, I don't think that makes the cover bad. I'm just saying, you know, like, that was already built into it. Like,
Right.
It's, like, lyrically, it's a dumb song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not, like, I remember I read a book about science fiction's influence on popular music in the 70s, and they talked to Michael Moorcock, who was a science fiction writer, and a famous anarchist, you know, like what he thought about punk getting into anarchy. And like one of his comments was, I don't think the Sex Pistols have read Bakunin.
This song featured a Sex Pistol on the second guitar solo.
I like
Sid Vicious
Yeah.
played guitar solo on it.
From Beyond the Grave. I like Steve Jones. Like, I think he's a decent guitar player. Like, I will talk shit about Sid Vicious and Johnny Rotten, but I do like...
I kind of like Jonesy.
Yeah, I like Jones. I like Paul Cook. I like Glenn Matlock.
I like Jonesy and his videos in his kitchen with his fucking sailor's cap and fucking bikini briefs.
Yeah.
Aw.
And, like, Jonesy went on to, like, do a lot of, like, really good session work, too. Like, he did have chops, so...
All right, next song, Mary Jane, is not about marijuana.
I started out liking it more than I did by the end.
I did the exact opposite.
Really?
Yes.
I thought it overstayed its welcome a little bit. I liked like the weird, like paranoid kind of falling apart vibe to it at the beginning, and then I felt it kind of went a little longer, and then like how buried the vocals were. Like I was like I wanted to hear the vocals a little better because they sounded like completely unhinged. And I wanted to hear that delivery, but it was just so shoved far in the back that it didn't click for like at the beginning. I was like, this might be my favorite song on the side, and then it just kind of kept going, and it was kind of a muddy mess by the end.
So, in a nod to Airheads, in the very beginning, is someone farting on the bass strings?
Ooh, we should get the laser disc of that.
We should.
But I mean, so this song was just some silly bullshit.
Oh yeah.
It was like an attempt at a ballad, maybe. I don't even know. It was like just shitty. And all of a sudden, they get to this halfway point, and I was like, this is getting better. And then they're doing kind of like the twin guitar harmonies. I said, I like that.
I did like the white noise on the drum hits too, like how they made it bigger.
Right.
I did, yeah.
Well, this song is a story about a young witch buried alive by her father near the Loon Lake Cemetery in Minnesota. According to the legend, anyone who dared disturb her grave was doomed to a prompt death.
Holy shit. Holy shit. This goes back to my fucking childhood.
Oh, yeah?
So, all right, so I haven't been there, but my old bass player. So, this will come from a story from Dave Ellison then, because he's from Jackson, Minnesota. It's like 45 minutes from where I grew up. And my old bass player at one point, he went up there, and so supposedly the thing is if you jump over the witch's grave 3 times, you die. And he jumped over her grave twice and then got home, and got home 2 minutes past curfew, and so he got grounded for 2 weeks. And that was his swearing that it was that the curse was true.
So it's like a warning curse. It's like if you would have done that one more time, you would have been fucked, but
Man, that's some weird ass shit. That's going back to home.
For me, when I was growing up, I had a hard time paying attention to this song. I think it's my ADHD. As an older person, post stoner metal era, it's kind of got like a stoner metal vibe to me at the beginning, which I like. It's just been executed better by other bands. But otherwise, I do like the doomy atmosphere of it, and I do like how it eventually, like you said, gets more complex as it goes on and gets more interesting.
I had fun. This was like basement show fun for me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can see how it's disappointing in between like their 2 strongest albums, but it's like listening to it on its own. It's fun.
Indeed. All right. So we're going to move along to side 2.
Oh, do I have to?
Yes, you're contractually obligated in the thing you didn't sign.
The Kermit the Frog voice.
First song, 502. That song is an ACAB themed song, kind of.
Nice.
Next one, In My Darkest Hour. Probably the biggest song that came off of this release. He still plays it a lot. Was that the single?
I think it's one of the singles. There's 4 singles.
Oh, there's 4 singles. Okay, that was the last
That's
single.
half the album.
That one's a fan favorite. Liar.
Another Sex Pistols cover?
No. This song is
Is it
about.
Henry Rollins cover?
No, it's not Henry. Yes, you went back. Would have been going back in time. Yeah, that was 90s, right?
Yeah.
No, that song is about Chris Poland. And I think some of it is like true and some of it's slanderous from what I understand. And then the last song is Hook and Mouth, which is about censorship, because that was a pretty hot topic.
It's
at the
not
time.
called slander. It's called artistic license.
You mean Dave Mustaine isn't always arguing in good faith when he has a falling out with someone?
I will allow a certain amount for artistic license.
Yeah.
I have written songs that are not wholly accurate to the situation because lyrically it makes more sense to go a different route.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it always does.
You
Yeah.
know? And now the difference here, if I say, oh yeah, this song's about so-and-so, and this is exactly how things worked out, that's one thing. But I don't ever tell the backstory. I just write the damn song and
Yeah.
there it is.
Yeah. You don't have to say who it's about because then you can change all the details you want to fit
And
the
then your
song.
mom will be very offended.
Yeah.
All right.
The kitchen and get ourselves a treat.
Let's eat all of Steve's pudding.
How can you have your pudding if you don't eat your meat?
I want some meat. All right.
You got
We
caught
are,
with the meat in your mouth?
all right. We are back from side B of Megadeth. So far, so good. So what? The soundtrack to a teenage me delivering pizza around my hometown. What'd you guys think?
Is the production on side B purposely better than side 1, or have I just been drinking?
You've been drinking.
Okay, because it sounds a lot more clear on this side.
Maybe it's my vinyl copy. I don't know.
Parts of it, I thought in my darkest hour, we'll get into more later, was at parts a lot more clear, production wise. I thought 502 was not, but yeah, I think I had fun. It was the same vibes. There were a few more moments where it wore out its welcome for me, that it didn't on the first side, but it was enjoyable. I think this is a fun record.
It was much better than side 1.
I like it marginally better than side 1, because I think
Because you're a poser.
I mean the Anarchy in the UK is a fun song, but I don't know. I tend to have a general dislike of somebody putting cover songs on their albums, which is funny because it used to be the other way around. It used to be all covers and one original,
Right.
But I don't know. I think it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb on side 1 a little bit.
Oh, and then doing just such a well-known song as a cover too, feel.
Yeah.
Originally, he wanted to do Problems, and the studio made him do Anarchy.
Problems might have been more interesting.
Yeah.
There is if you get their box set, there's he tried to do a mashup between the two at one point as well. That was his compromise. And then they're like, no, do Anarchy in the UK. Dave, dance for us. We're Capitol Records.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you, Dave, there were some moments where it wore out its welcome for me, the big
502.
Yeah.
502 was the only song I didn't really enjoy on the record. I'm just gonna say that.
And that's my favorite song on the record.
That's funny.
Yeah.
See, I thought you would like the ACAB quality of that one.
I mean, I don't mind the ACAB quality. It's just the vocals were really buried, and the rhymes were really kind of basic.
Is it really ACAB, which is about getting busted for DUI?
There's that too.
Is that really the hill you want to die on?
Yeah.
Yes.
I caught because I got busted drunk driving.
And then the big ending that went on way too long and then faded out.
No, I liked that. I enjoyed that.
I thought it was funny.
Yes.
I think I'm more with Pete on that one.
I mean, when 502 first came on, I was just like, this is what I want to hear. When I hear a Megadeth record, this is what I want.
Yeah, I think the record of his drunk driving adventure, I think, is just really fun. Fun fact: I mentioned that I used to deliver pizza a lot to these albums. On the remaster version, they replaced the ambulance sounding siren with one that sounds more like a police car. Every single fucking time I listened to it, I thought I was getting pulled over.
Having an ambulance instead of a police siren when it's supposed to be a police siren is just a hilarious sloppy mistake, though. I will admit that.
Well, it was probably a lot harder to find samples back then, but yeah. And my hometown is basically a police state, so you know.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Well, when you have as much meth as they do, it's kind of required.
So there is that that picture that circulates online every now and again where it's the worst city in every state.
That's where I'm from.
How is it not Plattsmouth?
Well, anyway.
Yeah. I mean, they're both bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like this one didn't work for me, but glad what I saw about the other songs kind of that Pete was able to see it for this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Next song, In My Darkest Hour. This song Mustaine wrote right after he found out that Cliff Burton died. So Cliff Burton, not Cliff Burton. The lyrics, I don't think have anything to do with Cliff Burton, but he just sat down and wrote the whole thing in one sitting afterwards and did lyrics to it later.
So it could be a little bit of a stream of consciousness, just like how he was feeling, not necessarily about.
This one is kind of a crowd favorite on the album. I think he still plays this one a lot, and decent song. I think could have been trimmed a little bit.
Could have been. I think this much in a live setting though would work really well.
Yeah. I guess the good thing about Megadeth is there's two competent lead guitar players most of the time anyway. So when they go on for way too long, at least it's still like enjoyable to listen to.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that. I mean, like that's basically an entire Yngwie Malmsteen album is him jerking off on guitar, and it's not as enjoyable as I think what Dave Mustaine and his lead guitar player at the time.
I don't know. I do like me some Disciples from Hell.
One thing that I thought was interesting about this is his vocal delivery sounded more like Metallica than it tends to.
I can kind of hear that. I know, and that's actually a note from 502, but I know that he was singing to his strengths, and I know we kind of talked about it while I was playing, is that Dave Mustaine isn't someone that I want to hear rapid delivery from. I think a lot of people make fun of his voice, but I like his voice. I think it's a very unique voice, and when he really sings, that's really when he sounds the best. If he tries to sound like hardcore or too sinister, it doesn't work. But if he's just singing to the song, it works very well.
It really depends on the album for me, because I think he sounds perfect for thrash with his like snarly delivery. But like on Euthanasia, that's a really good example of his like really good singing.
I never really listened to that album, so I'm not sure. But
I liked kind of like the guitar at the beginning too. Kind of like the gentler sound at the beginning, and then how it built up into like the bigger thrashier stuff. Like, yeah, I thought like I can definitely tell why this is like a crowd / fan favorite. I can see why this. It wasn't my favorite song on the record, but it was definitely a standout one.
One of the things that Steve kind of touched on too while we're listening to it is he mentioned that he heard some Metallica in the guitar playing, and that was one of the things that I really took note of on this song in particular is part Hangar 18, part Lucretia, and a scotch of Holy Wars, and then maybe even a little Master of Puppets I heard. So there's different songs either from the past or future that I think he kind of cannibalized this song a little bit for some of the songs of Rest in Peace. But it wasn't bad. What was kind of funny though is that there was a section in there and even though it was very thrashy and they had like the double bass going full throttle, it still had this Irish jig sort of overlaying rhythm. You could have danced a jig to parts of that song.
Yeah. And I liked I don't know, there's like a descending scale thing that the guitar did a little bit before the vocals started, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, I thought the solo work was really good on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the guitar work and his work in general inspired me to do like single note patterns on guitar when I picked it up myself. So I'm definitely like appreciative of those because he really comes up with interesting patterns. I think that's one of his strengths. And
part of it's because he doesn't have any formal training. I think even when he, after he has hand injury and had to go back and relearn how to play guitar, I don't think he relearned how to write songs or rewrite rhythm pieces. And that's why you have songs that are sometimes in, I think the song Rest in Peace is like in 1517 or some weird time signature like that. And I don't think Dave's going, I'm going to do a song in this weird time signature so I can be like John Petrucci from Dream Theater. I think it's just, well, I wrote this riff and that's how it goes. And so play to that.
Yeah.
What's funny is I have a very similar experience because I don't have any formal training. I just like to do weird patterns. And a lot of times I would bring it into Megaton. And Mario, I don't know about his drumming today, but at the time he was very adamant that we do everything in 4/4. So there are some songs where I didn't originally write them in 4/4. If you listen to the intro of Sledgehammer, we do the riff 5 times, and then I think we have to do it 4 times. It's weird, and it led to a huge argument in the practice room. And finally, it was just like, fine, we'll do the riff like this, even though it doesn't make sense. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, a lot of times I would write things, and they would often just be weird time signatures because I wasn't thinking about it at the time.
I've had similar arguments with Jeff and Eddie.
Next song. A diss track to Chris Poland, Liar. My favorite track on the record. It's so fucking petty. It's so fucking petty, but god damn, it's so funny.
Honestly, I think it was my favorite too. It was hilarious.
It was badass.
Yeah.
You know, and yes, there are parts of it that were a bit cheesy, but I'm not that lactose intolerant.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, like. Yeah, no, like it was like it was petty. It was mean. There was like some real venom in his delivery.
Yeah, his vocal delivery sold it. Like you could tell he was pissed off.
But what was with the weird fucking ending?
Oh, when he's rhyming at the end,
and just where it just stops. Oh. I mean, Sean has complained about my abrupt endings, but I've never done anything like that.
That didn't trigger my annoyance, so I'm not sure I can.
Yeah, I did like. I know you said this isn't what you like about his vocals, but I did like the part where he was just like rapid fire, just like. Because he sounded so pissed.
List of insults.
It sounded like a laundry list of everything that was pissing him off, like right there.
Yeah.
Just like the fact that he was singing pretty normally up until then, just like with Venom, but just like suddenly just like going into like this ultra fast delivery of just like a list of grievances. That was funny. That was a lot of fun. That hit exactly when it
how he had
needed
like
to.
5 insults. They're just kind of random, and then everything else that was an insult in alphabetical order.
Yeah. It was.
But yeah, rest in peace, Chris Poland.
Yeah.
No, he's still alive. But Chris, I sometimes feel a little guilty listening to it because Chris Poland seems like a decent guy now. But like you said, I mean, he did steal his gear.
Yeah.
He had a right to be mad, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, this one, a lot of fun.
All right, and then the closer, Hook and Mouth, his big tangent against censorship.
One of my favorite parts about it was near the beginning because it was the most I could hear the bass on the whole record. Like, where it was like largely bass drums and vocals, and I thought the bass had like a nice little growl to it, and it's like
no, and I agree with that. But I didn't care for the intro, just how it was done overall. The bass in and of itself sounded fine, but I thought it was an odd choice how to start the song. But the rest of the song was really good until it redid the intro for like a sort of weird monologue in the middle of the song.
Yeah, I liked this one probably minus the monologue. Because I also don't like. It's not always a good idea to go back. Sometimes it works to go back to an intro thing. Often it doesn't. This time it was a time that it didn't. I don't think. But yeah.
Yeah, if you do it a re-intro needs to be like a quick callback and then you move on.
Yeah. But I as a whole, I liked it with minus the monologue.
And I had some really positive adjectives about the solos.
Yeah.
That's always one thing you can say about Megadeth is their soloing and lead guitar playing is always excellent.
Yeah, and the rhythm guitar playing is good too. Yeah.
Oh, he is
exactly.
right on. Yeah. This one, I think, as a whole, I'm anti-censorship, so thematically it works a lot for me. I think Dave managed to harness some venom in the vocal delivery that I think really works for me, and overall, that song probably works for me a little better than it worked for you guys, because I don't really have any complaints about it.
As a whole, I think this was a pretty interesting record. It is not better than the one before or after it, but it's like I said, it reminds me of going to a basement show and people bringing their amps that are way too big and loud for it, and just being in that moment.
But what albums have you heard by them, Pete?
Peace Cells, Rest in Peace, and Countdown are the ones I'm most familiar with. Years ago, Jared, completely legally, I'm sure, gave me a copy of The System's Failed. I listened to it a few times. It was all right, but...
Oh, I like that one a lot. Okay, and then Dave, what about you? Is it the Peace Cells or...
Peace Cells and Rest in Peace. Those are the ones I know.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
And yeah, I would say this... I could see why, like, at the time, maybe somebody would have been disappointed hearing this after Peace Cells, because, the drumming, I thought, is a lot more straightforward than it is on either Peace Cells or Rest in Peace. He wasn't doing anything, like, really acrobatic. Jeff Young, as a guitar player, did the job well, but I don't think stood out like Chris Poland or Marty Friedman.
Wasn't memorable in any way. And seriously, Marty Friedman is fucking amazing.
Yeah, one of the best guitar players.
Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I even like some of his pop music. He's a pretty
Cheerleader Massacre is fun.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
But that said, I like how raw it was. Like Dave said, it kind of has this like basement vibe to it that, I don't know. You know how you've described like Paul Di'Anno's music as like jean jacket metal or something like that?
Yeah,
I kind of see
this
it
is
that
jean
way.
jacket metal. Yeah.
If you enjoyed the songs on this, I would recommend checking out the remixed and remastered. Like, I don't recommend checking out the Rust in Peace one because he re-recorded some stuff and he changed like the drum sound and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're like curious, because I'm curious about weird things all the time. But the nice thing is on all the streaming services, they put out both versions. So
Nice.
I think that's everything we have to say about this album. Before we do pluggables,
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna have you guys
Look at German torture porn.
roast these pictures. These are
Oh. That is definitely you.
Yep. Oh, baby Steve.
Senior
that
pictures.
was me when I was 18.
That was you and you had hair.
That's
No beard though.
no beard.
Nope. I gotta say, the beard works.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like how I look without the beard.
I remember I got my senior pictures taken about a month before my beard started coming in. And so by the end of high school, I had a beard, but yeah.
No, I couldn't really grow one properly until I was about 21.
See, at least you have pictures that show you. My senior pictures were my mom's senior pictures.
Yeah.
I just got to pose in them. And at one point in time, and I graduated 10 years before you, apparently 96. And she was like, well, maybe you could wear one of those flannel shirts you like so much.
Dave, describe, there's like me standing in front of albums and stuff.
Oh yeah. There is a picture where Steve has a Strat. Is that a Fender or a Squier?
That's a Squier. That's the same model that I rebought that's in the hallway now.
Oh, so like the Bullet.
Yeah, the original is in a garbage dump somewhere probably, or hopefully maybe a garbage man saved it. But I rebought that one. But yes, I took my senior
standing in
picture
front of a brick wall with your arms crossed, but with a
CD rack.
Yeah, a
Those
CD
are
rack like a tier.
all the Megadeth albums that had come out till that point.
It's a lot of them. They really did put out a lot of albums.
They did, yeah.
Speaking of, do you have the Megadeth Less Than Jake split?
No, I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah, but I think it was one of those things like I think it was like probably a pure cash grab because it wasn't original songs by either. It was I think Megadeth was maybe Dehumanizer. I'm not sure about that one, but the Less Than Jake side was All My Friends Are Metalheads.
Did they play a tour together or something, or what?
No, I think this is simply just like, hey, punk rock's getting popular. You know, there's a song that was talking about metalheads. So, hey, who wants to be on? I think it's just a complete. You know what? Actually,
I wonder if they're label mates.
Yeah, Less Than Jake was on Capitol Records at one point.
Oh,
label mate
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, I guarantee it was just some like bullshit like that.
No, I hadn't even heard about that one. I was collecting for
That's
them
right, I bought
for a long time. But my white
Hot topic.
That tracks, yeah.
my white whale for Megadeth collecting was there's a version of Cryptic Writings where they took out all the vocals and they replaced it with Marty Friedman playing the vocal melodies with his guitar. And now you can find it online, but
Yeah,
I
that's
wanted a
actually
physical
nice.
copy, and they were too expensive for Teenage Steve to buy.
My white whale for collecting is John Cale's Animal Justice EP, where he's just yelling at some former bandmates who quit because he decapitated the chicken on stage. And it's called Chicken Shit. It's like, they didn't like that you killed a chicken on stage, dude. What are you going to do about it?
My white whale is all the different versions of Drugs and Masturbation by Boris the Sprinkler. Because they have the original version. I also have the picture disc version out of Poland, I think. But the original version has one monologue in front of the songs. And then they did another version where he put a new monologue at the beginning of the song. And in this monologue, they discuss the fact that for collectors out there, that they have this version with a new side A and a new side B. But they also have ones that they made then that has the old side A with the new side B. And then ones with the new side A and the old side B, but you don't know what you have until you buy it and listen to it. And it's just to fuck with collectors.
Yeah, that would have pissed me off when I was a collector. Just like the time I was collecting all the Simpsons DVDs, and the one with the Homer head clam case really pissed me off.
It doesn't sit well on a shelf with the other ones.
It really doesn't. All right. Sounds like you're out of retirement, so
Yeah. Hot Rods to the Gods might be getting an additional guitar player, but so if we can't find a singer, we'll do the job ourselves. But ideally, what we're looking for is someone who can channel in equal parts Joey Ramone, Rob Halford, and James Brown. So, if you are that person, get a hold of Hot Rods to the Gods.
that is a list of demands.
That's difficult, but if you find someone who can do that, holy shit.
And also, preferably be at least 30, because I don't want to play with kids. Sorry.
You're not Craig Jen.
I'm not Greg Jen.
Yeah. That reminds me of, like, I remember Megaton opened up for this band that was clearly like it looked like a bunch of high school kids, and then their dad joined them. Like, so it felt like his dad just joined them for the talent show or something. I don't know. It was weird.
Hey, kids, let's go play a heavy metal show.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing more from Hot Rods for the Gods, because I liked your show.
Hot Rods to the Gods.
To the Gods.
We are the greatest band of Omaha.
I was impressed with how tight you guys were for that being the first show.
Because we are the greatest band of Omaha, even though we were playing in Council Bluffs.
Dave and I like to play fast and loose. Because we're loose men
with loose morals.
Whatever you need to tell yourself. just keep saying you're playing jazz. Trust me.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we have an acoustic album or EP, depending on where you listen to it. If you listen to the legal version on the streaming services, there's 8 originals. But if you listen to the version on my YouTube page, it's an entire show where we improvised a bunch of covers, and Sean's playing acoustic. I'm literally playing on a park bench, and Dave is doing vocals. So
and our bass player is not there.
Yeah. I don't remember what he was doing, but he's the family guy in the band. So
yeah,
he apparently had better things to do, just like everyone else that wasn't at the audience.
Yeah, playing to 3 people.
Yeah, good times. Anyway, it's an interesting release.
Yeah,
check it out or don't. I also have my EP Tyranny of the Clock out on little mini CDs that I realized won't play in like slot things. So. It's a novelty. So if you want one of those, I have them on my amp wall in my Bandcamp. So anyway, that's my shameless self-promotion.
Yep. All right. Catch you on the flip side.
Fuck ice, no kings.
Fuck ice, no kings.
Fuck ice, no kings.
Side B with Dave and Steve is a Floof Goof Studios production. You can find us on Instagram at KillRockMusicSWS and Dave_Diction. You can find us on Bluesky at KillRock Music and Beastmaster General. Check out our musical projects, The Alliterates and Lucid Fugue, on all major streaming platforms, and links to each at my website, killrockmusic.com. That's KILRAVOCK music.com. This also includes my past projects, Megaton and Valley of Shadows, and my current solo project, Kill Rock. You can also find Dave's past project, Gong Farmer, at GONGFERMOUR.bandcamp.com. Thanks.
Everyone we worked with is dead.
Really ripped.
Yeah.
I need to change my pants.
Check. Leonard Bernstein.
I hate it so much I skipped the whole Destroyer.
Allow me to play you out.
Dirty Dave just pooped his pants.
Yes, indeed.
Perfect hooker murdering song.
Kick out the jail, motherfucker! Are you ready?
Oh, Steve's got some cheese.
Get my podcast voice ready to go.
Cha Wobble. What a name.
I'm Ivan Moody, and I'm having a psychotic break. Testicules.
That is a fun fact.
There's a jazz hole.
What do you mean the song is called Sweet Pea?
Now that we're done with Steve's Rorschach test, let's talk about the album.
For fuck's sake.
That's not very Zizian of you guys. It's a professional operation over here.
This is Fantasia for people who had to repeat the 9th grade.
Heavy metal.
Yeah, hands off, Britain. We'll dump it in the sea again.